Hi, we're Chris and Teresa, and we would love to guide you on your fiber arts journey. We own a successful fiber processing mill and online needle felting business, experienced at raising all fiber animals, and have renovated a 100-year-old school into a fiber arts retreat center.
Processing, needle felting, yarn, roving, fiber animals, and sustainable agriculture are all topics discussed here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for advice, information, tips, and getting your questions answered on all things from farm to needle. So pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be inspired while you learn. This is EweTube.
Welcome to EweTube 189. And we are coming to you, not live, but kind of live at the time, from Teresa's basement. And you must enjoy this amazing tour that we're going to give you of her creativity space.
Yeah, so it's my office
Wow.
upstairs, which is kind of a mess. So I've just opened up
So here it is.
everything.
Enjoy it.
So here's a quick tour of my office here at home. This is where I do a lot of the video courses, where I work on a lot of needle felting and where I edit videos, the YouTube videos and things like that. So this is the chair when kids or my husband want to come chat with me while I'm working in here. Sunflowers. My dad was on the sunflower board and my mom loves sunflowers. Some weaving I did quite a while ago. And here's some weaving projects I just completed. There's my spinning wheel, which I do bring downstairs if I'm going to spin. I don't sit up here by myself. So here's my messy, dusty shelf of goodies. There's just a bunch of random colors. Some teacups and things somebody gave me. And there's some of the animals I've made when designing kits and making kits. There's Libby as a baby. We blew up pictures of her for her graduation, and that one was a favorite, so I decided to keep it. Here's a mobile that I made for a mobile class at the school. It was actually a mobile retreat. So here's, it's just a bunch of, here's cameras, stuff. There's a cross that I keep meaning to bring to the school because it would go really nicely in my office there that Chris gave me. There's one of my lambs. There's my brother with his very first egg. He now owns a hatchery. There's Libby. She would bring her lambs to Sodbuster days and they had a parade that she would lead them through. Here's some special stuffed animals I've saved. This one my son called Gubby, my son Lane. Snoopy is my son Casey's. There's Whiskey Pinky Woodbury. She's mine. And Winnie the Pooh. And then there's a little bunny that Libby knit for me. Some books that I've either read or need to read, want to read. Some sheep that Chris gave me. Here's some Easter accessories for the animals. Looks like the Christmas garland with snowmen. Next dusty level down here. There's some watercolor painting, fun stuff. There's a pile of papers and even a garbage bag. Pretty cool. There's some felting. Some random wool that I bring home when I think I might make something or have an idea. More random goodies. And then down here is just bunches of wool. Here's some wool balls. When I decide I'm just going to clean up and get rid of just a bunch of spare little colors, I make them into wool balls. And that's what all those came from. And there's just tons. It's always good to have a variety of sizes of wool balls. Colors of wool, here's more colors of wool, and more colors of wool. These are backdrops for pictures. You can see. Here's where I do Zoom calls. There's Chevy. Here's where I edit all the YouTube videos. Or sunflowers, they remind me of my parents. Printer. This is where I do my video courses right here. The camera goes up here, and then I have lighting, and it looks straight down onto what I'm making. Here's some things I've been working on. So last week we shared the meadowlark pictures. I'm working on a duck for an upcoming class that I'm teaching. Here is bunnies I've made recently. And then just random mess and partially made animals. There we have it, the tour of my messy office and creative space.
It's absolutely amazing.
It's a little messy. I wish it was
It's not
better.
messy. It's about, it's there's so many things in progress, and it's amazing. And I have this ball of beautiful yarn here that
I have Dearest.
And you have Dearest, and I have found the end of the yarn, which I'm going to turn into a skein. And yeah. Oh, sorry, Dearest.
He doesn't bite you. He just,
Yep,
he's chubby.
just a little nippy. Here we go, and we don't, there we go. Okay, and we are doing this a day early. That's why we're doing it at Teresa's house, because we are, surprise, expecting another blizzard tomorrow. Yeah.
Like 4 to 7 inches on top of 3,000 inches.
At least. We were driving, we had an amazing employee gift us a gift that we have had a consultation with, and we'll share the actual gift with you next week, hopefully, if we have something to share. But anyway,
We'll see.
and yeah. Anywho, and we were driving back, and we were noticing literally it's 3-4 feet of banks along the interstate.
But this is like the first day in, or like yesterday was too, but in the past, I don't know how many weeks where you could set the cruise control and just go. Because it was all melted off the highways.
It was amazing.
Beautiful.
It was amazing. Yeah, this was the first day that I enjoyed driving.
You didn't have to just creep along worrying about slipping on the ice. But we did notice, like Chris said, on the sides of the road is snow. It's higher than your vehicle. So,
Yeah. So we understand why the interstates get shut down whenever we have a snow event.
yeah, so any wind at all just shuts all the roads down. And like myself, I don't dare leave because as soon as I get back, it could be just blown in and I can't get back into my yard.
Right. Hence, we're doing YouTube a day early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
it's like midnight right now.
At 4 to 7 inches tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not, yeah. You know, I think spring is Tuesday.
I think isn't
Tomorrow?
today the first
Something
day of
like that.
spring.
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't really feel like it.
It doesn't at all.
What's the day today? It's the 20th? Is this? I think it is. Nothing
On the
about it feels like
eve
spring.
of another 7 to 8 inches of snow. But anywho, on Sunday we had an amazing basket weaving class for the staff.
We did. So we asked
It was
Marcy to
amazing.
come and teach the entire staff how to make a basket. And we did so
Yes.
the entire staff did this
Same
easy
basket.
and it was a lot
It
of
wasn't
fun.
easy. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was just a really super cute basket, smaller basket, about this big. Yeah, and Marcy was amazing. And we had, 3-4 staff members that weren't able, the date didn't work for them, so we might do something again. For them. Yeah, that was wonderful. Because the next time we have Marcy teaching a super cute round, like a fruit basket with leather handles, is April 1st. And I know that's going to sell out.
Yes, it always does.
Yeah.
And then her next classes, which I haven't scheduled yet on the calendar, are blanket baskets. So they're huge.
They are beautiful.
Which you can get done in one day.
Yeah.
And are actually just bigger baskets of what we made.
But I myself bought one from her when she was out for Nome for the holidays. She had a little booth with all her baskets in there. I think she just about sold out of her baskets. But I bought one of her blanket baskets, very similar to the one we'll be making, and I think I want to take the class because they're amazing. They're big. They have little leather handles. They're amazing.
They are. Yeah.
Oh, Dearest.
And they're so cute, but it's extra special if you can make it for your own home, or if you
truly
can make
is.
it for somebody else as a gift. So I think I'm totally taking up one of those spots.
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 staff members that we might have to have Marcy stay over, and yeah, absolutely. And then we had the Startup Brew. What is the Startup Brew?
So last week, I think we shared a little bit that we were going to be doing Startup Brew at Drucker's Brewing Company in Fargo. But Startup Brew it's a
pretty cool deal.
It is. And if we lived right in Fargo, we would be there
Absolutely.
every
Seriously.
Wednesday.
Yeah, because it's
But it's
all
a
about
ways-
entrepreneurial, and that's what we are.
And it's about entrepreneurs and helping entrepreneurs and listening to entrepreneurs and their ideas, and we loved everything about it. We loved the atmosphere, the people, the supportive group that came, and we were a little nervous, but everything went very well. We told our stories, and I think it went very, very well. And like if we lived there, we would go every Wednesday.
Yeah, because it's like half an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah.
The hardest part for us was keeping our story in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Which
When you
we
have
did.
3 different entities, and
I don't know if you can see Dearest, but Dearest
I don't think you can.
Dearest is
He is
like
such a sweetheart.
a chubby cat that we have here.
Here's his tail. Right here.
And he really wants, ouch.
He wants attention, but he doesn't. He's a typical cat right now.
I don't know if you can see him, but
Okay, and then shearing happened.
shearing this last week, he hissed at you. A little bit of hissing.
Dearest. Okay, I won't touch you
Anyway,
anymore.
so we had shearing this last week at Bear Creek, and we
In the new barn. Your
Just
new
gonna-
barn.
I was about to say how many we shared. That's the
Don't. Shh. Shh.
In our new barn, for the very first time, we have sheared in the old barn, which some of the walls you can see through, but in this new barn you can't see through the walls, and it was warm.
It was. And there was room to walk around the skirting table, and
It was very
it's just
nice
easy.
space.
I mean, Jeff didn't have to walk through a gate to throw the fleeces on the skirting table. It was just
so
really
many.
good.
Yeah,
And then the sheared sheep were in their own little pen. They weren't mixed up with the unsheared sheep, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was a nice little system that we had, and we were concerned with the wool, how it would turn out, because of we had salmonella affect our sheep in the fall. We had several die. We had several lose all of their wool, but we were
Shocked.
yeah,
It was
because we were
beautiful.
expecting the wool to not be the best, and we were kind of surprised at how well the wool looked.
Oh,
If you haven't been following since last fall, we had all of my sheep got salmonella, and they were either dying or very, very sick. They lost all of their wool, or they lost part of their wool. And so that's why we were very, very concerned going into this felting. I mean,
The shearing,
not felting.
the shearing that we were going to have fleece after fleece after fleece of fever breaks, but very few fleeces had fever breaks. It was amazing.
Because I think, sadly enough, they either died or they lost all their wool. If they, because of the fever, they lost all their wool, it just fell out, and then they started new.
And it was
we had
amazing.
we had several that we, should we shear them? Should we not shear them? They had wool,
About 2-3 inch
Yeah.
sable. Yeah.
and so we decided to shear them, and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Super strong. Absolutely gorgeous.
tired.
Really tired. It's midnight. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then we asked a question last week.
We did.
We
Have
did.
you covered everything? I don't believe
We don't have, we are going to get our husbands to, we're going to interview with them.
And I think they will.
I think they will too.
We just have to give them. I told my husband
Yeah.
tonight,
A little heads up. Yeah.
like within, couple
couple
minutes. But he wasn't for it,
Yeah. It's been a long weekend and a long week. Yeah.
and so I think if I give him time and say this is what we're going to ask you, he'll be fine. So
Yeah.
coming up, we're going to have
Coming up.
Jeff and Steve.
Yes. Employee. They're very, very important employees. Most important to Teresa and I.
Oh yeah,
There are everything. There are rocks. Yep. Yeah. And our question for last week was, we asked for help for Teresa to name the lambs, because every year there's a theme. Last year it was Disney. Was that last year? No, last year it was
yeah, it was.
Disney last year. Okay. So this year it's going to be
Birds.
birds.
Because we can't wait so much for spring.
Oh,
And we think,
we need to hear the
Birds.
first robin. We need to see, yes.
I think birds are going to be cute. I can't wait.
Yep.
Can't wait to see the little birdies born.
Yep.
And name them.
So who is the winner?
Lorraine is the winner.
W. Awesome. Congratulations, dear.
You just need to contact us through the contact form on bearcreekfelting.com. We'll get your prize
We
to you.
met her in Chicago.
We did.
It was amazing.
She's coming to the school.
She brought us food.
She did. She brought
Yes.
us snacks.
Yes, it was amazing. And we have used, somebody mentioned, we have wonderful ideas. Wine, we had
We had
flowers,
many
we had
wonderful
colors, we had
ideas.
wonderful wine. Dearest.
Dearest wants
We
to
had
play.
wonderful, oh my goodness, look at those little yeah, and one of them was Greek gods and goddesses, but you said you've used those.
So we got
Yeah.
BFL, which is blue-faced Leicesters, for a while, and we decided that all the BFLs should be Greek gods and goddesses. So we had a Hestia, we had an Aphrodite, we had Zeus the ram. So we had them.
So that
so
was
we
cool.
can't do that again.
Can't
but
do that
that
again.
is a wonderful idea because they were very cute.
Yep.
So also this week at the Bear Creek Ranch, there's been some issues with the sheep. So I don't, if you've been following since, whenever, last year we had some issues with sheep dying of we had no, it took us months, over a month to figure out why they were dying, and we had to watch them die, and we didn't know how to help them. It was a horrible experience for Jeff and I, and we discovered it was salmonella. All you seeing is Dearest? It does seem like that might be the case. Okay, so then we found out, it took us months to discover what the problem was, why they were dying. We had many different speculations of why they might be dying, and did all the research and studying on those reasons. And we finally discovered in the end that they were dying from salmonella. And from what we learned last fall and how we treated them, so when we found out it was salmonella, we treated them all with antibiotics. All the lambs got antibiotics, and that seemed to stop it. And from my reading on it is, once it's on your farm, it's always on your farm. And once they have it, they will always have it. And we didn't really know how to take that. It's like we were very happy they weren't still dying. And it was like we realized we needed to do more studying on this, and we hadn't had time to do more studying on it. So we sheared all of the sheep on last Wednesday and Thursday. And since then, we have lost 9 sheep, which is not normal. We have never in the history of shearing lost sheep after shearing. Nobody has died. And so we knew something was going wrong. So we called the vet, and he's told us to bring 3 of them to the NDSU diagnostic labs. So we did that yesterday. We brought 3 of our most recent sheep to NDSU in Fargo, and we are waiting for results on why they died. And when Jeff and I came out there and saw, there was some weaker ones that had been sick before, and we was like, okay, they had been sick. We also know that they'd all been suffering from this, from last fall when they got the salmonella. They either lost all their wool, or they were, had high fevers. They went into the winter not, 100%. So we knew there might be some issues, but when we lost 9 sheep, we knew something else, something must be up again. So when we called the vet, he said, bring them to the diagnostic labs. And so as of this video right now, we haven't heard anything. If it is, the only hopeful thing that we got from the conversation with our vet is that if it is salmonella, if we do find out that it is that, they can make a vaccine that is just for our farm. So it's for the strain of salmonella that is affecting our sheep, and we can have, if it isn't already on the market, they can make it for our flock, which gave me some hope. And so, because if it's always in our flock and always gonna just, if ever they're under stress, so they were under stress from the shearing, and that's why we think they died. So it's just kind of unnerving if you think of anytime they're under stress, they're going to die. Right. So it's nice to know that there could be a vaccine that could be made for us. And so that was some hopeful, part of the conversation with our vet. Yeah. So we're still waiting to hear what they died from. We did take 3 of the animals to the NDSU diagnostic labs, and we're just waiting to see. Meanwhile, we're feeding them terramycin crumbles, which is an antibiotic, because just in case it is the salmonella, we need to be prepared. We're going, in a couple weeks, we're going to start lambing, and so it's kind of scary thinking we're struggling with this right now. Ever since we had the 9 die yesterday and today, we haven't had any more die. So we're hopeful that it's over, but we don't like the thought that anytime there's something stressful on the sheep that they could die. So if there is a vaccine that we can have for the flock, we're hopeful for
Pretty
that.
fortunate that you have a research university
Yes.
very close.
And that we have a vet that we can call, and he knows and he understands that sheep are dying. We need some help.
Right. ASAP.
So one of those sheep that died was Chevy, which is my favorite ewe of all time. We've kept some of the rams from her, and they are now our rams in our flock. She's a BFL Romney cross, one of the first that we ever did, and she has, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about her before in this past year, that if she were to get sick, that I was going to try, what was it? A transfusion,
means, whatever it takes.
But this last, who knows what it was.
It was a little surprising to you.
It
She
was.
looked good.
She had been sick a little bit earlier when we had ran them all through. We thought, oh, Chevy's under the weather, so we treated her. So I guess the last stress of shearing, we sheared. There was some cold weather. They were all in the barn. So when we have them all in the barn and we close the doors in the barn, I go in there and I have to take off my jacket. It's so warm.
So to them, though, it's probably stress. It was a stressful.
The whole
shearing
thing was stressful.
is stressful.
And
so.
we have never in the past lost any sheep after shearing. So this is all new to us, and so we think it has to do with this disease.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to hear and see how that turns out, and hopefully we don't lose any more. But we had several of the ewes that it's called aborting their babies. So they had miscarriages, is what that would be. We had at least 4 that miscarried, which is more than normal, which has to do with this
Illness.
which we don't know what it is yet, but hopefully next time that we can share, more information on that. So that's what we're dealing with right now, which isn't the best, but
Yeah, but it goes with raising animals.
yeah,
There's good with the bad.
there is definitely a bad. This is more bad in the last 2 years than we've ever experienced since 2006. We could start crying now if you want.
We're not going to, so we're not going to cry. We're going to say, do you keep your ram lambs? That was one of the questions for this week.
We have in the past kept our ram
Would you
lambs.
weather them?
Yes, we castrate them and they become wethers. And we have several that are more than 1 year, 2 years that we raise. And just during shearing, when we would look at their fleeces are amazing.
Yes.
If you could have just wethers, if you could afford to do this, if you didn't need to increase your flock, wethers is the way to. Wethers have no stress at all in their lives, and their wool is amazing.
It is.
And
Doesn't
they're
matter
huge.
if they're 10 years old or 15 years old. They're,
Yeah.
So much beautiful length and amazing.
In this past week, we did lose one wether. And so part of the, losing the sheep, we thought, here's Dearest.
Yeah.
We thought, some of the skinnier, some of the older, some of the, but there's some really healthy wethers that died too. And so I don't know. I don't know. That's why we're waiting to see what that is.
Yes. Okay. And our husband's interview, we're going to be working on them. And how many names would you need? So how many birds are going to be needed, approximately?
So the most that we could have in lambs is 200. So we need quite a few names. It'll most likely be less.
But at least, so there were some really neat suggestions. One was implements, farm.
And
biblical names. I think you've done that, right?
We have.
Yeah.
And I think we have too many sheep for
Yeah.
that. To make it
And
easy.
and the wine, the types of wine, that was another one that's cute, but that would be probably too many sheep for that
we
one.
don't know a lot of names of wine.
Yeah. And then the flowers, which would work, and the colors, which would work. But you went the route of birds this week.
I don't know. The
or this
birds
time.
just
saying to you.
They did, because it's been such a long
Oh,
winter, and
I
think
have yet to see
birds-
my first robin, and usually by now you do.
Do you really?
I'm thinking you
She's the
must.
birder.
I'm thinking you
She's
must.
the bird. I have no idea. But like we shared earlier, there's no snow on the cement. On the cement? No.
No, there's no
I'm not
snow
going
on
to say
the
it that way.
the
Okay.
roads, the asphalt.
So right now there's no snow on the highways.
It's amazing. You can set the cruise. This is the first time in how many months?
we don't know.
I felt comfortable with
Yes.
setting the cruise.
And then, so last night when Jeff and I were delivering 3 dead sheep to the NDSU, I was like, "This is amazing. We can set the cruise and we can just go because we've been for
And you
the
could
how many
visit
last
and-
weeks?
Yeah.
You have to go like 20." And you have
Horrible.
And the entire time you're driving, you're worried that at any second you could just be in the ditch. So
Yep. It's exactly
it's
right.
spring. It's spring here.
It's spring. It'll be spring after the
After
next couple
tomorrow or the next day
visits,
or the next day.
blizzards and what? Whoops, wrong button.
After 7 more inches of snow.
How many sheep were sheared at the Pearlyburg Ranch this year? How many sheep were sheared at the
Probably
Pearlyburg
less
Ranch?
than we have claimed.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then coming up, Maker's Day, the first Sunday,
Of every month. I was going to say stinking.
day, storm, or
We're doing it with, if
Yeah.
it's blizzarding, if it's
yep,
flooding,
April 2nd.
hailing.
We're doing it. We're not questioning. We're not
Tornadoing.
even. It doesn't matter.
we don't care. We're
holding
having it.
April
Because
2nd.
you're going to want to be stormed in at the
You're
school.
going to want to be. You and half the staff were a couple days ago, right?
We were.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just last week we were stormed in. It was fun.
Yep. And April 1st, the day before the first next Maker's Day, is the Bison Makeup. Oh, there's still space available
Yes, there's still
for
space in the bison class.
felting
You can
class. Yep.
learn how to needle felt a bison.
And I think
We
there's
did just have to move that because of,
Yep.
weather.
and then the spinning wheel class, beginning spinning wheel, on April 1st, also had 2 folks that had to drop out because of the move. So we have 2 available in that, if that hasn't been filled yet.
It might have been. I can
Needle
kick
felting
you.
safari is, I know that's sold out,
It's-
unfortunately.
It's sold out. Next year,
Next year,
I don't know what we're making next year. Not a giraffe, not
Zebra.
an elephant, maybe
maybe a zebra or a water buffalo, cheetah,
a cheetah,
lion. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
tapir. I don't know. It's like
On this one, okay. God bless you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for supporting us. We love you all.
yes, thank you.
That's all, folks.
Meh.